And until women got full legal rights, they could own property for themselves, they could work. Essentially, they were owned. They were first owned by their fathers and then by their husbands. Because I think the people who don't look at history are condemned to repeat it. And I think that
what are we going to do? Repeat the persecution of women? Do you think that's a realistic possibility?
Yeah, we're sitting here.
How do you see that?
We're sitting here in America, right, where we've just had a 5th judge appointed to the Supreme Court who is now anti-abortion, who's now conservative. I think that abortion rights are absolutely fundamental to women being able to function as full humans in society, and I think that is now under threat in America. Saying that something has elements of this may be the same as it is purely that.
That isn't what's being said. Merely to define it as a patriarchy implies unidimensionality. It can't be 10 different sets of rules for different people. That isn't going to work. So it's absolutely naive to believe. If that worked, the world wouldn't be full of war.
Okay, so
that's why we don't live in a patriarchal tyranny. And so if you want to be a successful man, then you should be competent. And that will move you up the hierarchy. And that will make you attractive, and for good reason, unless you want an incompetent mate, which is possible. And I don't believe that the way that you move up our hierarchies is as a consequence of manifesting power. It's competence.
Okay. The things you said, for example, like women wear rouge because it reminds men of ripe fruit. Right? Well, for a start...
Why do you think women wear rouge?
I have absolutely no idea, but
right,
I will tell you...
That's really not a very good answer.
Well, yeah, you said before there were lots of things you don't know the answer to, but I'll tell you one thing.
I'm not criticizing your perspective on this. You're criticizing mine, so I'm presuming you have an alternative idea. Why do you think women wear makeup? Why do you
I think there are an enormous... But let's go back to why women wear rouge, because it reminds men of ripe fruit. Okay, first of all, not all ripe fruit is red. Why would you want to...
we evolved color vision to detect ripe fruit.
Do you want to eat women? No. I think unless men are having sex with ripe fruit...
You might want to taste them.
That's not really where... And where is the evidence that women who are redder in the cheeks have more offspring?
By who?
By transgender activists.
Yes, well...
They talk about having a female soul, and that to me seems strange. I don't see how you can...
Something like biological determinism.
Right.
Which is very... It's one of the things that's so perversely amusing about these sorts of arguments is that, well, but I attribute it to the lack of demand for logical consistency as a consequence of postmodern thinking. You can believe one thing when it's convenient in one situation and another thing when it's convenient for another. So we're in the perverse position where if you're a man born in a woman's body, that's biologically determined, but if you're a woman born in a woman's body, that's socially constructed.
Tell me your reaction to what's unfolded over the last year. I won't put words in your mouth. You tell me.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of evidence for reprehensible sexual behavior on the part of people who can use power to get away with it. So that's not so good.
One more area that you've talked about that's caused controversy is gay parenting. You've said the devil is in the detail and you want to see more studies on that. What do you think might be the adverse effects of having same-sex parents?
And so that's the variable, obviously. No one knows what the consequence of being raised with two people of the same sex is. Maybe none.
Right. So there doesn't seem to be any evidence so far. That's all the literature review suggests that there were a couple that showed problems, but they were in coupledoms that had already broken down, right? So there is no evidence. Maybe there will be some found, but at the moment there is no evidence that there is any problem with having gay parents.
I never said there was. Somebody asked me, I believe it was a question like, if there was a problem, what would it be? It's something like that. I mean, you can make a very strong conservative case for gay marriage, I think. I mean, not that I would necessarily be motivated to make a conservative argument.
David Cameron, our former Prime Minister, said, I support gay marriage because I'm a conservative.
Yes, right. So, it's obviously homosexuality is...
Really?
How about the guy with the pug in the UK?
Count Dankula.
That's the one.
Right, but he did actually, I mean, that
was a joke. You might not have liked it. I didn't say it was a good joke. I didn't say it was an appropriate joke. I didn't say any of that. I didn't say it was a well thought through joke. But it was a joke.
Yeah, I just fundamentally don't believe that it was a joke. I believe that it was camouflaged as a joke, and that's what it kind of comes across.
Right,
and
well, that's exactly what you would believe if you were inclined to persecute comedians.
No, I'm not inclined to persecute someone.
Well, you're inclined to persecute him.